It's something physical, condition, reaction, and it's something physical, condition, attraction. But have I finally escaped? Well, my eyes no longer.
Hey guys, it's Chuck. I've wanted to make this video for a couple of days now. It's the topic of it's what feminism actually is. Now, let's start off with making a couple of statements here. I am what is called a liberal feminist. What that means, I'll explain later. Now, the feminist community is schismed into two different sections. The mainstream feminists that we have nowadays, and the liberal feminists, which is the group that I'm involved in. Now, the liberal feminists are focused on gender equality, while the regular mainstream feminists we have nowadays are focused on women's rights. Now, in this situation specifically, it seems very hard to determine the difference between the two, but I'll explain. Gender equality involves both genders being equal, okay? If a member of one gender gets their rights taken away, it is the call of the liberal feminists to say, hey, either we want our rights taken away as well to equal with that, or we want their rights back. You got to keep the genders equal. That's the idea of liberal feminism. In fact, on the liberal feminist page, the first thing it says is, you don't have to hate men to be a feminist. That's the idea of this entire movement. In fact, looking back through history, all of the feminists that have actually done anything, this was before the actual schism that took place, they were, think about it, were liberal feminists. Okay? Now, with the mainstream feminist movement is associated with female rights, which is a different story in general. Almost to the point that it actually isn't concerned about gender equality. You don't see that in the feminist movement. Also, the mainstream feminist movement is more focused on issues like, oh, I don't know, Neil Armstrong, 1970, said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Wow, that's such a sexist comment. That's what you'll hear from the mainstream feminist movement. Meanwhile, us, at the liberal feminist movement, are actually doing something important. We are protesting stuff like, say, how in Qatar right now they're conducting infanticide and abortion against women because they want to keep their male names in check, and the current ratio of men to women in Qatar is 2-to-1. Okay, that's an issue. Bagging about these tiny, saying the word mankind, or fuck, it's ridiculous. That's why I disagree with the mainstream feminist movement. In fact, most liberal feminists hate working with the mainstream feminist movement. Once again, I am completely hardline in favor of gender and sexual equality, without a question. But if that does tie into women's rights, but if those women's rights become so focused on that they overtake the male rights, we have a problem. We have exactly the issue that gender equality has been trying to fight, and that's unbalanced rights for for genders. So I don't like the mainstream feminist movement. It seems to be petty, rhetorical, and if you think about it, almost misogynist. It loves to portray men as these overwhelming, overtaking characters in society with these manipulative capabilities that are controlling women. Now, if I was a woman, I would be insulted by this portrayal that almost that women aren't smart enough to think for themselves like this. It's pathetic. I'd like to think women are a lot smarter than the new feminist movement likes to think, well, likes to portray women as. So, yeah, this is a controversial topic, but I think I've explained it pretty well, and yeah. See you next time.
And yet again, subjecting women, the female anger's fist finally clenched. I'm not your fucking